Hi, it's Elisabetta and Savia, and we are on a hunt to discover Italy's most unexpected family-run secrets, to support local communities and allow travellers to come to Italy as guests and leave as locals. We will be living all around Italy for the next 2 years, so follow our journey and discover the real Italy that only locals know. Today we are in Villa Valmarana in Nani, only 5 minutes from Vicenza, a true masterpiece of 18th century Venetian paintings that has been owned by the same family, the Valmarana family, for over 3 centuries. A family that was even related to Andrea Palladio, whose masterpiece, La Rotonda, is right next door to the villa. We've met up with Giulio Valmarana to learn more about this magical and intriguing place.
My mother actually was born here about 70 years ago. And that's the place where my grandmother and grandfather actually lived for a good while. Since I was a child, me and my cousins, who actually now help me in running this business, we had the chance to visit pretty often our grandfather and grandmother. It was always very nice to come here because we weren't used, and to admire such a wonderful place was something not so standard, we can say. Yeah. Villa Valmarana was probably built around 1669, so only after 50 years it was purchased by our family. So what can I say? Of course we feel the responsibility and the role to maintain it, of course, also for future generations, as the past generations did with us. Of course we have the luck to host about 800 square meters of frescoes designed by Tiepolo. So Tiepolo was the most important painter in the 18th century, so yeah, we are not unlucky, we can say, yes, indeed. The villa was frescoed in 1757. A few people say in a period of probably only 3-4 months. You can imagine 800 square meters of frescoes realized probably in 3-4 months. And the two Tiepolos divided between themselves actually more or less 50 and 50 the surfaces to paint. So while the Palazzina, owner's residence, is frescoed for 90% by the father, Giambattista, so the most famous of the two, in the Foresteria and the guest house, the style of the son. So that's why you can compare very simply two different painting styles.
So what was your favorite room when you were a child, and what is your favorite room now?
I need to say that it's tough to decide, because every room is magic actually. It's magic because, especially here in the owner's residence, we have to realize that we have poems around our faces. When we visit these frescoes, it's like entering into the poems and being part of the story narrated on the walls. When I was a child, young, we can say, probably my favorite room was the Iliad's room. So the characters we see on the walls are Greek soldiers, because Homer, of course, when he wrote the Iliad, he talked about Achille. Achille was my favorite character when I was a child, and so that's why maybe I was falling in love with this room.
Can I go to the other room?
Yeah, of course. You can go before this.
Thank you.
While this one is the room right now I prefer. In front of me we have the most important fresco, Sacrifice of Iphigenia. Iphigenia was Agamemnon's daughter. And that's the room that we normally use the most for a corporate event or a private dinner or an exclusive guided visit for our guests. This room plays a significant role for our business.
Goethe, Frank Sinatra, Salvador Dali are just some of the names that have visited the villa over the years. And now, Savio Loss, of course.
How funny. Come on, let's go into the Foresteria and see who else has been here.
This is the Queen Mother, who came to visit the villa in May 1987. We have the Queen Mother of Denmark, and by that time I was here because I was 11 years old, and I have a few memories about this. On the next picture you can see the person who, especially in Italy, is pretty famous, and that's Gianni Agnelli, so the former owner of Fiat. Alberto II, King of Belgium, at the beginning of the 21st century, and her left there was my grandmother. There's a guest book where we collect the signatures of a few of these VIP who had the chance to meet. Yeah.
But behind this magnificent place, there hides a legend that very few know. As we arrived at the villa, we noticed 17 dwarfs staring at us from the surrounding walls. According to the legend, these dwarfs used to be real people, the servants of Lyanna, the dwarf daughter of one of the noble owners of the villa. Because of her deformity, the parents ordered that Lyanna lived confined within the high walls of the mansion. And to avoid hurting her feelings, all the servants had to be dwarfs too. Rumours started spreading around the village, and a prince decided to go and look out for her. When he entered the villa and Lyanna saw him, she suddenly became aware of her condition, and out of despair, she jumped off the tower and killed herself. At that point, the faithful but desperate servants turned into stones. And in fact, the villa even takes its name from them, as Nani means dwarfs.
We've also had access to the private gardens and Il Boschetto, the little wood, which is only accessible for private events. Here you can enjoy a beautiful view of La Rotonda, and we've also unexpectedly found a pagoda that left us speechless. So, because also when you come to Villa Valmarana, you come as a guest and you leave as a local.
With the typical Veneto scripts.
I like this.
And Giulio Valmarana.
Cheers.